Two-parter.
Recording is on.
Yeah, see, there we go. I did not get the recording has stopped thing. It says, oh.
Out of memory or something?
No,
Now-
it says I'm sharing, and when I hit stop sharing, it for some reason it
Stop the recording.
stopped the
Now
recording.
it said recording is on now.
Yeah, I know. I heard it. Let's see. So what is missing?
I would say there is not a current version in the mirror. The search feature is not in there yet. You did something with SVN plus SSH stuff changing to make it bidirectionally, yeah?
Yes, and then I had to take that out because of the fact that for some reason, well, no, I had checked it out using just SVN:/ instead of SSH plus SVN. And when
Yeah.
I try to do it using SSH plus SVN, it gives me an error.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would say some apps from the Gap should be better integrated into GNUstep itself because it's basically GNUstep. Like the Help Viewer, for instance. I think it belongs to the system itself. Should not be outside of GNUstep.
yeah, no, I agree.
We can promote some apps from Gap to regular GNUstep. Or is it Ricardo won't like it, I guess, maybe.
I mean, I would have to. I mean, I think we should ask him, but ultimately, I think some of these belong in the main project. So let me see. Are you guys seeing? You guys aren't seeing my screen, are you?
No.
Okay. I'll go ahead and make sure you can.
No, there's something.
Yay. Yeah. This is, by the way, this is my studying for my PhD.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So just got to remember what it's like to be a student again.
Okay.
Dr. Greg.
Hey, my friends call me Greg. You can call me Doctor. I'm kidding. I'm playing. No, let me see. Gap. Okay.
I don't know.
Hold on. Let's see. Okay. My groups. Excuse me. Gap. I really do not like this. Browse version repository. All right. So, yeah, this is one of the reasons why I don't like SVN, or why I don't like Savannah. It's got problems. What are you saying? Why are you saying that this is not working? Because as far as I remember, it does work. Or maybe the cron job's not running. I don't know. Hold on a second. Let me test that. Come on. Sign in using root user email. There we go. EC2. Yeah, now you can connect to the instance on your browser, which is actually pretty damn cool. Let me see.
Pro bono
That,
said, "Sorry, I'm not going to make it today. Didn't arrive at home in time."
oh, who did?
Pro bono.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem. We may just have to just accept the fact that not a lot of people are going to come today. I wonder what's okay. So something is wrong with the cron tab. Apparently, I am not running this every night like I should. That should run it every night at what is it? Every night at I think 2 minutes after midnight. I'm not sure. Let me see. Let me do this. Do this manually here. Hey, speak of the devil.
Hey there.
Hello. Did you make any changes to Gap recently other
What,
than
like
2
2
weeks
days
ago?
ago?
Okay, let me see
No,
if
no. 1 or 2 days ago, and they did come up. So
they did. Okay.
at least.
Does that look like the ones you made? Help viewer, resources, Gorm, help document H, help document M.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if there is one. I don't know the last commit, of course. I mean,
Yeah, it
but
looks like this was the last
those are
commit.
pretty recent.
Yeah, it looks like that was the last commit right there. But it looks like I skipped a few days because the cron job apparently isn't firing on time. This is AWS, just so you know. Yeah, so I gotta fix that. I'll revisit that after the meeting.
Hi, Ricardo.
So
Actually, you know what? I'll do it now. Cat. See, the problem is that we don't have is that using it this way, I don't have an editor that. I mean, I can't just say Emacs or VI or something like that because it doesn't conform to any of the damn what is it normal stuff. So I need to do it using sed. What is a good cron tab to use?
There's surely a contact service online.
That's what I got. Every 2 hours, one at minute 0 past every second hour. That's what I have. Look right here. See, 0 /2 ****, right? Or is it, yeah, 0 ***2 ****? Should be every 2 hours. Why is that not working? Interesting. Ricardo,
yeah.
do you see anything wrong with that cron tab? This one right here.
But you override it every time. Do you? How does it work? Does it an update or do you
It's an update.
recreate?
This does okay.
Oh,
This
then I know why it could have fixed because I accidentally did a commit on the GitHub side
Oh shit. Okay.
a couple of days ago on something stupid. It shouldn't do a conflict because it was something like a README or something like that. I don't remember what it was. It's not something I changed on both sides, but I accidentally because it should be read only somehow.
Well, I mean, I did leave as a when I did it over here, right? I said this is a mirror of the Gap repository. You cannot
Yes,
make
but it's
commits here.
written.
Yeah.
I wasn't in there. I was looking at something else and just made an edit and say, "Oh, but this will make a commit."
Yeah, it. Hold on.
I don't even remember what I did. Honestly, it was something like.
Well, it looks like what I just did worked. So I mean, it's probably nothing to worry about. But the bidirectional stuff has to be made to work anyway. So, and the issue with it not working is my certificate apparently, because when it tries to do it, it says that that my the user does not have permissions in spite of the fact that I have the
But how do
certificate
you make
registered.
it bidirectional? We shouldn't do it bidirectional.
Well, okay. How can I make it? Okay, let me see. Let me show you the script.
Because we should do user matching and only.
Yeah, no, you're very right. Otherwise, it'll let everything on the SVN side would be done by me, which is wrong. Because if you did something on the SVN, I mean on the GitHub side, then it would commit it and it would commit it under my name, which is wrong. So, but yeah, I mean, let me see, Git SVN.
I remember I did something like stupid. It's like change an URL or an address of theirs. It was something like accidental. I just saw a file. I did it in the Git editor. I mean the GitHub,
Hmm.
and then but once I saved, I realized I did a commit actually. So
Yeah, the script that does it, and it's taken me a while to get used to these scripts again because I wrote them, and I didn't document them very well. One is the SVN decommit. This is the one that does it from from Git to SVN, because when you create an SVN clone using Git SVN, it will put an SVN directory. It'll put the SVN information inside .git. So when you do git svn decommit, it uses that information and sends it back to the the SVN repository. So this is the decommit is what does the commit to SVN. So that's how you're supposed to make it. That's how I can make it bidirectional. But this script doesn't do any of the user matching that you're talking about. So right now I'm just using it. Right now it's unidirectional. It just goes from SVN to Git, and that's it.
that's fine. At least it's up to date.
Yeah. I got to fix that cron job though, so I'll come back to that and figure it out later. There's probably an error log somewhere. Oh. So yeah, I was showing the guys that I was working on nothing really exciting, just the diffable data source stuff. Hold on, let me show you. Yeah, I was showing them. Oh, that I started actually also working on Music Kit. If you can see right here, I've got it building, but it doesn't actually do anything at the moment. And the guy who originally ported it took my commits and took my updates and incorporated it into his branch. So that's good. But let me see. Tests NS diffable. Yeah, I was just showing them this view-based cells, and the fact that the refresh is working properly now. I've got a PR for this right now, and Fred is reviewing it. Hopefully, he gets through it at some point. but it's not part of the main line yet. But let me see. I've been working on that plus Music Kit. Plus I think I don't know. I didn't tell you yet, but I'm studying to get my PhD, Ricardo. So yeah, that's been keeping me quite busy. But yeah, so let me see. Oh, Twilight gives his update. He says, I've been working on a Debian-based script based on work by Pro Bono that will convert a locally built GNUstep application into a standalone app image that runs on machines without GNUstep installed. It works on most of the GAP apps that currently build. TwilightEdge.com downloads GS app2 image.sh. Sorry, GS app2 app image.sh. And he said, for examples, here are the Gminds app images, and he gives 2 other app images here as well. So yeah,
Cool.
very cool. Thank you, Twilight.
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
I'll definitely give that a try.
Huh?
I'll definitely give that a try. That's cool.
Yeah. One thing I've been meaning to try is Uleet on. I mean, I have it downloaded on my Mac, but as I understand it, it works pretty well on GNUstep. So I'd love to try that. There's also one other game that was it was a racing game that was I think it was called, oh my god, I can't remember the name of it. That literally uses GNUstep, and it uses a lot of OpenGL. That's why it works pretty well on both platforms. I'll find out the name of it. Hold on 1 second. It's in my
You
repository.
should finally get some testimonials from those companies who use GNUstep.
What's that?
You should finally get some testimonials from those companies who use GNUstep.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
you're absolutely right.
put it on the website somehow to see somebody is really using it. It's mature somehow.
The name of the program is
Wait a moment, somebody's calling me.
yeah, it's this game. Hold on, I'll show you. Core Breach. This runs on macOS and on GNUstep, apparently. So yeah, but it would be nice to get some testimonials from all of those developers, because that way, we could demonstrate that we are, relatively mature. Oh boy, I was about to ask Ricardo what he'd been working on.
Ricardo is gone because he got a call. Maybe he comes back.
Ah, hello. What have you been working on?
I had to answer a phone call. I'm working actually on essentially on help viewer, but which is requiring extremely big restructuring, so it's going onward. I think it's usable. But the major issues, we found a very hard shortcoming in our horizontal typesetter. And this is months of work. So I've been hacking on it for months. I'm working on it with thread. So essentially I'm sucking up all the thread time with that. And we don't get much forward. So we know what's wrong essentially. The code is not correct, but it's old code by Alexander Malmberg. So I can do pretty trivial examples also in text editor just to make it behave wrong. So it's not something which is unique to Help Viewer. It just got detected by Help Viewer. But the problem is real.
Interesting.
And it has to do essentially it's hard because it tries to detect the height of the line. It applies styles. So the code is very convoluted. It had a lot of nested go-tos, and it's sort of recursive. And it does netty stuff because it tries to check each glyph, understand what it does, checks the style. If there's a style change, expand special characters, determine the line height, and then you need to recalculate. And this is also, I can also explain, Lars, if you weren't there last time with Fred, why we can't assume things. So I need also to explain, Richard. Every time you heighten the character, it doesn't fit. So essentially what it does, it sets. When the last character doesn't fit, it makes a new line, but also calculates a new height because it wants to calculate the highest height of each fragment because it needs to know essentially each line, right? So every time it encounters a glyph or an attachment which needs a line height, it makes it larger and then restarts from scratch. And this needs to be done because you can't assume that you can just heighten because you could be in a non-rectangular container. So even a small increase does invalidate the whole line. So that's the concept. We need to make it work that way. And then in case maybe we could think of optimization for the rectangular case, that could be done, okay? But first it needs to work in the general way because that's the code we have. And it's correct that it's that way. And it doesn't. At first, so it's the first 2 months of work, there is a branch on that. You can check that. There's a branch and a bug.
I've seen it.
I tried to restructure and clean up the code. So I remove at least certain go-tos, change certain variable names for really nasty stuff. Like if it's an index, it's an index. It's a pointer, it's a pointer. So you have a glyph, it's called GI. And if you have an index inside the text container or the cache, because it also has a cache to manage. So it's, of course, very optimized code because it's used everywhere, right? The text layout manager is everywhere. So even a single worsening there would make everything worse. And so it's very hard to touch. Right now, I think the current branch is better in every aspect. So it has no regression compared to the current code. We just found it still has a bug, but the bug was there before. And Fred's desire would be at least to fix this bug and then commit. However, it would not fix the bug I am finding in Help Viewer. So essentially, Help Viewer currently has a workaround to make it look acceptable on GNUstep. But since in the meanwhile, I ported it to the Mac, I discovered that it doesn't look the same on the Mac. And of course, since it's a reasonably complicated text, they need to match. And 99%, if it doesn't match, it's GNUstep fault. In this case, actually, it was GNUstep fault, but there was an extra workaround because it started, of course, as a GNUstep application. So it looked worse on the Mac, but the issues was the GNUstep hack. But even if everything would be done, the last thing we found is superscript. So essentially what the big issue is, you have line breaks. So the last character you put in a line will break things. So you have a long word, your last character could be different. So we discovered it with text attachments because those are used a lot in headviewer text, right? You have the boxes, the info. I don't know if I've checked that a little bit, but you have also all those info boxes. Those aren't real text. They are rendered as an attachment, as an image, and then put in. But you can have the same thing. You can disrupt it the same way if you like write Gregory and make the epsilon like a very big font, or change the font inside a word, you will have the same behavior. So we know it's really broken. It's not just a strange corner case we can ignore. It's just, it doesn't happen in standard text. Or maybe you don't notice. What happened is you have a line break and it's inserted. And it will essentially, the style of the next line will affect the previous line. Suppose you are writing in 812 points. You write a long word. Then the last character, which will cause a new line, a line break, is either an attachment, so something bigger, or you change the character the size of the last character of your word. What happens is it will go to the next line, and the next line will be correct, but it will reflect also the change size in the previous line. And this is wrong, because the first line, since that character doesn't fit that line, the previous line should remain correct.
Okay, so I see. So what you're saying is, if there's a really tall character in line 2, it'll resize line 1?
Exactly. Well, it's not line 2. It is a single line which gets broken, right, by the text line because it doesn't fit. Essentially, yes, you will get the first line will be bigger because the line 2 is bigger, because it's the last character wrapping off. We made some workarounds on that by improving the code, but essentially we came to the conclusion that the current code is limited. I also had a hacking session with Richard, but in just one session, Richard couldn't understand the code. And so just to tell you, it's not something like
Oh no,
we fixing.
I've always known that the typesetting code is a nightmare.
It is a nightmare. It is like 2,000 lines of codes in different methods. It's very hard. I think the current code is a little bit easier to read, but essentially, the stupid thing is we could merge it. Essentially, it makes the issue, by improving things, it makes the issues even harder to detect in the future. So my desire would go as whatever it takes to fix it. Because if we stop there, it's all in your head and our heads. And in 1 year I wouldn't understand anything of
Yeah,
it.
no, I mean, it's best to keep going.
But it's hard. Essentially, Fred is, I think, to the point throwing up the towel. And we both came to the conclusion. So we also have Lars here, who would sometimes join our hacking evening when he was bored and wanted to have some headache. We need some kind of backtracking code, because you cannot, essentially the current code goes this way. Put in a glyph or a character, put in. When then it asks you, will the next glyph fit? It has a function. I rewrote that function in a little bit better way, but the concept is the same. It asks you, can the next glyph fit? Yes or no? If yes, it continues. If no, it will break. And essentially, there, the old code by Alexander essentially applied the codes, applied the new style before wrapping. Right now, we do it better and try to apply it only if you wrap. However, there are still corner cases, and this is superscript. Don't ask me why the hate work. Everything works except superscript and underscript, because they are a little bit complicated to calculate with ascender and descender. So currently we break the line only for that. However, we fixed it for one specific case, which is a single character one. Okay, it's still better, but it will never work perfectly because actually you can have a word wrapping and not just character wrapping. And you can also have, so if you have a whole word wrap, this code wouldn't work because you don't need to ask yourself, will the next glyph fit? But will the whole word fit? Then you also have the case, you could have a word, or at least a set of things. For example, a lot of attachments long enough, like put icons that they don't fit a line. It's essentially some kind of word, even if it's not a word in proper sense. It needs to be wrapped anyway. It will be cut. So you have a lot of rules. And of course, another thing which GNUstep doesn't implement, which is bad, but I hope we will implement sometimes in the future, is hyphenation. You could even decide a word doesn't fit, but a part of it could fit. And all these cases would be broken because once it fits, you need to be sure. Suppose you have a big word. You hyphenate it, a part goes to the next line and the first knot. If for some reason in this part you split, you have a bigger character than the first line, it should apply only to the next line. So we found surely a shortcoming of the current code, because essentially you would need to do something different. Calculate the height and don't ask, will the next glyph fit? But did it actually fit? Or did my word fit? Or did a part of my word fit? And there is code that does that. But it's very complicated to decouple, and we don't know how to do. I did an attempt with Lars last night, just because we had fun, to implement a very rough concept of safe pointing. But it doesn't work at all. I need to review it with Fred when I have an evening. It's very, very rough. So it's essentially a single save point. So it wouldn't still, fix everything. But it would be a proof that we can do it. And then from there, work around. But we have a lot of tabs. For example, we all have all the cases where we have different word wrapping methods, like line break by char, break by word, break by... We put in some logging code, and by even doing tests, they don't seem to be used. And this we don't understand. Because we see it different. So you can have word wrapping and line wrapping. We see it. But for some reason, you always get into the same break switch.
It's strange stuff.
It's very strange. It's not the big issue. I think the real big issue right now is we don't know how to have a save point and how to have the save point act. Because the issue is
to make the save point before a word starts. And for this, we have to look at the current character. If it's a space, we have to make a save point. If the next character is not a space, then
the code which I don't have here because I am at my parents right now, and also I discovered that my iMac here died. So the only thing I have here is a laptop, an iPad, and a Raspberry. So I don't have the code here.
So,
but it's we don't know how to apply the save point because this code works in essentially directly in the characters because it's need also to be very efficient. So we have a save point, we change it, but I fear once you got to the next glyph, I don't know. There is some stuff we don't understand. We could look at the code, of course, right now. It's in horizontal typesetter.
I was about to ask this is GS horizontal typesetter?
Yes, horizontal typesetter. But you can look at my branch and see where all the restructuring code is being done. That's the two methods we changed. So if you go to
in the branch, improve attributes, online breaks.
So let me see. You guys are mainly making your changes there, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
But the idea would be to restructure everything well enough there so that we can commit. Essentially, the idea would be, let's finish the current concept of code at least, make it more readable, merge the branch, and then start real fixing. This is what Fred wants. But still, this is why I didn't commit the last hack, because the last hack breaks everything.
Look in the chat. There's the branch name.
Yeah, I have here my
Very
MacBook,
interesting.
but it's unserviceable. Yeah, it's and I think, of course, it could affect everybody because it's essentially you notice the issue only in text, which has complex layout with different fonts, attachments, glyphs. So in something simple like simple like code editor, where you have attributed string, which are usually always of the same font. We change colors, we do a lot of things, but don't mix characters much. You don't notice it because nobody's doing real typesetting. In the GUI, you don't notice because everything is one line usually, or let's say 2 lines, but the same font. However, theoretically, it could impact everything because we use that code from everywhere, from the text, it's a simple text view of the alert panel up to emails. Actually, I want to test, but it could be that certain emails that GNU Mail sometimes displays strangely could be that because GNU Mail puts you an attachment icon in the middle of nothing when you have an attachment, and I have noticed strange spacing. And actually, now that I know, I will compare that on the Mac and see if it looks better on the Mac, because that's the perfect explanation, right? You have the attachment icon on a line, after, I don't know, after your signature, and actually you notice that the line before has wrong spacing. That would be a perfect example of other applications being afflicted by this bug. It's actually strange that probably nobody really noticed it up till now, or maybe somebody noticed, but nobody got into deep work understanding exactly where the issue is.
I would really love to see an example of the issue that you're talking about.
I have them on my computer at home. Lars have seen them.
Okay.
The good thing is I can make them with text edit because you just need to type in the text, right? And then I don't know, change the window size. You don't need Help Viewer.
Oh, okay. Oh, actually, to change the subject a bit, one of the things that Lars and I were discussing is, at least with respect to Help Viewer, if I may, um, I mean, if it should be, it would find more widespread use if it was actually in GNUstep itself. The only reason I say that is because if more applications actually had an interface to talk to Help Viewer and provide it with help files for display, then it could be used for all of our applications, and including those in GAP. If it was distributed along with GNUstep rather than as part of GAP. I mean, I know we kind of think of both of them as parts of the same project, but what do you think about that?
Well, I don't know. First, they want to work it, and there is a lot of work to be done. I know Patrick is pressing hardly because he wants a desktop, but it's really not. There are a lot of questions first to fix. It's, for example, localization. Oh, I wouldn't put it in. For me, it's fine to be in GAP because for me, it's integral part. I mean, I wouldn't put it as an official, because essentially GNUstep, and I fixed the code actually. So that's probably, if you need current GUI. We are agnostic to the help tool. Essentially, what we have is if you have a help file, which is an RTF or TFD, it will be displayed essentially with one big panel. Otherwise, you can write your own help application. So essentially, other desktop people could write their own help format, and we essentially GNUstep is agnostic. It's a little bit like print previewing, right? You just need one, and the code is smart enough that it will get the help file and of course open it. So if you write, whatever help file you want, it will invoke your viewer, provided of course it's registered. So the only thing people would need to do is to call it with the same extension, because that would cause havoc. But if you want to make your own, I don't know, .Gregory help or .Joe help, GNUstep should accept that. And if you think it's our correct way, right? It's a bit like printing. If you don't have Ghost, you can use, of course, I use GSPDF, but if you want to replace it, so other desktop operating system could use different help viewers, and they should work, provided that we don't fight on the same help file. So, for example, I know that GSDE, that one from Florian, he forked help viewer. So if for some reason he makes an incompatible file format, that can be handled, right? Because it's the same extension. But I don't think that's at that point we are either use one or the other application. But otherwise, because help viewer is nice, it's a little bit Next inspired, but you could consider it also a little bit limited. So you could also want to use I don't know, HTML files, for example, or real pure XML. I mean, it's just some ideas. I'm just saying that. It's not like...
Cool.
I would like to keep this openness.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Well, GAP is GAP. I mean, it's not hard. We have a lot of stuff which is in GAP, which can be used by anybody. First, I want also to make some help files and see them working fine. But there is no real API, you know. It's not context help. So the only thing the application do is you go into the in the help info, and essentially it will launch it. That's the only integration that exists between an application and help. It's not like you can go to a specific chapter, section, or whatever. That's not.
Well, I thought with Help Viewer you could navigate because it had those little.
You can navigate, but it's not like you can have that. There's no, at least not that I know yet, go from one side to the other. I mean, you have two different helps. One is context help, and one is application help, and they are two different beasts.
Right, understood.
So you need to write two helps in your application, and I think, as far as I understand, at this old Apple version, when I checked, they are the same. We inherited it from. You also notice it in Xcode that you have essentially two help menus, right? Because one is local, one is anyway.
No, I get you. I get you.
Of course, and it needs to be a lot. There should be a lot of work. I agree. This is why I'm working on it, because I think we need, besides bug fixing and more application, which is something we know from the 20 years, having better help files and localization support would make us look a little bit more polished. So I'm fixing a little bit of stuff when I find it, but
right.
Yeah, I'm forcing myself to run one computer in Italian, and even I'm running GNUstep in German just to know wherever it breaks or English pops up, which is forcing me, because usually I use everything in English. But there is a lot of things. For example, even I don't know yet if we support properly localized help files. I need to test that, because in theory you should be able to localize them as any resource. But we never matched this, so I need to work on that. But first I wanted to display things properly. And yes, sorry, it's taking me 6 minutes. It's somehow stupid. I started with revitalizing help viewer and just say, oh, let's revitalize its parser so we can use it without libxml2, because that was obsolete. And then we discovered so many bugs that it's like 6 months, and it looks like we're accomplishing nothing because there is nothing visible. Because technically we didn't accomplish anything yet. Well, not anything. On the help viewer side, we fixed a lot of things. So the application is in that shape, but the issue is display. And it's, I don't know if maybe, I hope Fred doesn't give up. But last time I heard him, he was like, if you have ideas, tell me, because it looks like he's a little bit out of.
Out of what?
Yeah, out of ideas, maybe, or out of motivation to fix that somehow.
Right.
Is there an example somewhere of help file so I could like try it and see what the issues are?
Well, I can tell you twice. Take a text edit, write test. If you're on the current branch and not my branch, which has fixes, you can just write test space, copy it, paste it for 50 times.
Okay.
And then the last test that fits, I could show. I could try to show you but I'm still building here for some reason my Raspberry is being extremely slow here. Even it's usually reasonably fast. Actually, I would like to. One thing is, I need to test this on the. I want to test this on the Mac. Right now, I'm on the Mac and I want to see. But I bet Apple got it right.
I'm not for sure that I could help unblock or figure out anything out, but I'd be very interested because this was something I've wanted for a long time, and I've seen the updates and the discussion going out about Help Viewer, so I'm definitely interested in using it.
Yeah, well, you can use it. It's like, let's say on Help Viewer. On Help Viewer, the only thing you see is wrong spacing, which in text attachment. So it's not a blocker to use, but now I know that it's actually a very big issue because you could have everything else could trigger it, So
okay.
we can really. I will probably release the current version of Help Viewer because it's an improvement. There are no regression. You can use it,
Right.
Because Help Viewer has strange attachment. If you notice, you have those info boxes like even in the home of the example. And they are exactly as long as the page. So that will essentially trigger that bug very easily because they are designed to be as large as the page. So let's see. I'm exactly curious what Apple will do. I'm here on the Mac.
Joe, who on your side was working on that browser?
I was working on the Ladybird thing for a while. I
Mhm.
had some discussions with them after they're moving to Rust for
Oh God.
yeah. And it seems like their focus right now is more like they weren't really interested at this time in adopting other toolkits anyway, after having discussions with them. So I pretty much just halted that effort. I've just been focusing on other things, but I might look at the WebKit CEF thing you did.
Mm-hmm.
Or,
Well, what I was more interested in is when we discussed Ladybird, that you said you were going to try and do something where it was a standalone web view using the Ladybird guts.
right. And now the problem with that is they're integrating Rust into the WebView code.
Mm.
So that's going to make it like really difficult to, it makes portability harder. So that's like already less interesting to me.
Hey,
But
who's that? Is that you? That's another you, Ricardo, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's another me. I just wanted to see if I can share the Mac screen. I think I can.
I mean,
Just to show you what does work on the Mac. I'm really testing. I can show. Okay. The Mac is a little bit slow because it's compiling. I updated MacPods, but an update on libxml 2 essentially made everything update. I mean, it's literally 2 days it's compiling. Do you see my screen? Yes.
yep.
Yes.
This is, of course, text edit on the Mac.
Mhm.
Okay.
The idea is this is test space copied anytime. You see, if I make it bigger, at one point it will wrap, right? And if you
Mhm.
notice, it wrapped correctly. So you see, right now the line above is big. If I make it smaller, the line above gets smaller, and the next one gets big enough. exactly this doesn't work on GNUstep. So the line above will
I
have
see.
the same big spacing. It will look like the one, so you would select, it would look like, like this. And the other thing, and we fixed this a little bit, but the other thing which doesn't work on GNUstep right now, so in the branch, this is fixed. And the other thing is, you can open it, and we make superscript. So essentially, you see, you make superscript, we make it super big enough, or was it superscript or subscript? I don't remember. One of the two, and we see the other one moving. Isn't it stupid that you can't tear out? GNUstep is superior to Mac actually, because the GNUstep menus are better. So every time here I need to click. I cannot just.
You could strip off the menus like it was in.
I cannot detach this menu. It's stupid.
It's fucking bad accessible.
You need to have it high enough so that that's theme. Taking forever. I don't have it here on the toolbar, no. Now on the next one, it should start going down. Exactly. You see, only this line goes down. If you do it on GNUstep, the line before is affected, even if it shouldn't, because it's on the new line. Because some reason it's affecting itself. I don't know why I have my webcam open here. And you can trigger this with a lot of different, like instead of a big T, you can make a small attachment, an icon. But if you understand, it's they're all coming from the same the same school. The other thing that I wanted to do is get here and compile. I can compile helpware here and show it to you. One big thing is we changed it to be a document-based application. So now you can have multiple head files, which looks like a small feat, but given the code, which had a lot of static things, it wasn't easy. Because there is a recursive way on how things are. I hope the Maverick project, how things are initialized. Because it is a it uses the parser two times. One is the parsing for having the structure, so it knows how to make all the paragraphs, and then it has a parser to actually show the content. Let's see if live it compile. That will be fun. And before, it was doing like fake accessors, which were actually class methods where it could just store, the text view, the color, things like that. But that works only if you have only one instance of all these are the things, the handler parser, the structures. We had issues with that. Now it seems to work, so you can. I don't know if we can ship it at the end with a single parser. Yeah.
Well, I was
I did
gonna,
that.
I was gonna say, man, I gotta hand it to you. You're braver than I am modifying the typesetter code. It's complicated. It's
Have you
very, very
looking at
complex. Huh?
it's yeah. That's why we're proceeding very slowly, only checking with it thread. But there's a lot of things we don't understand because the fact that there is also a layer of cache makes things even more, you know.
Oh yeah. Off the topic quite a bit. One thing we had always wondered why, um, we use so much memory on Linux, and come to find out, and you guys can kick me for saying this is already known, but it seems as though with that Linux looks at free memory as wasted memory. So it endeavors to take up as much of it as possible. So when you run a process, it's going to take up as much of that process memory space as possible to cache various data and stuff like that, so that the application runs faster. That's why our applications are so damn big on Linux and they're not on Mac OS because you know it's just a different memory model. Um, so it's not anything we're doing apparently. But yeah, no, I was going to say, are you guys thinking about, because I've noticed there is a class called NSATS typesetter. Is there any thought about doing any of that work, or is it just way too early to think about that?
The advanced type system, you mean Apple's type system?
Hmm.
Isn't it
I
actually half obsolete?
I didn't even know what it stood for. Apple's to AATS. Um,
From what I know, it's essentially part of the. I don't know. I encountered it when doing portability code, and I have issues between 10.4, 10.5, 10.6 because they changed things. And uh, advanced type systems like Apple type system
hmm,
or something like that. You know that
hmm.
Apple doesn't allow you to have TIFF as icons anymore?
Really? Didn't know
No,
that.
look,
Wow.
it doesn't. But actually, look here. You see, I put it, and it is finding in the help panel. But if you don't give it the ICNS, I don't know. I suppose that's that. You get a generic icon.
Interesting.
They probably you don't if you don't have the proprietary format. They don't display it.
Yeah, you need ICNS or I think
Yeah, with all the
there's a couple
resolution,
one of the
etc. But usually, I think in the old days they were just okay. Scaling it would look back and pixelated because, of course, we have this icon is much bigger, especially if you have the scaling effect, right? But that it doesn't work at all. I don't.
well, in
Could be.
ICNS you can have separate pages or separate versions in the same file, and so sorry, not ICNS, in TIFF you could have
Yeah, you
different
could do that
versions.
in taste. Yeah,
Yeah, so I think it was just it's just now it's just doing they're using ICNS to do the same thing that TIFF was doing back in the day. It's just a different
yeah.
format
Maybe
for no
they
reason.
wanted. I think some. It's all of the new programmers. They didn't even know that, and they just did something different because they wanted.
Well, yeah, it's people do that all the time. They don't understand the current stuff, so
There is
they
a
just
lot of
do it.
gratuitous
Hmm.
incompatibility in Apple, especially in the latest versions.
Hmm.
Okay, we should have some example. Where are the examples here? Oh, that's another program, StepSync. But where is Happier examples? Yeah, let's see. Let's test a couple of it. Because the other thing, it's not so easy with HelpViewer, is that it actually can load sections on demand. So you have the structure, but it will load it only when you click it. This is why essentially we implemented help search, but search will work only on the current page because you can write multiple files, so until you click here, it doesn't load.
Hmm.
You see that there's a flash here. So now it's loaded. So you see, it doesn't look bad. But my issue is this is an attachment, right?
What is?
So these green, red, and lila things. They are. You can even move them. Actually, I need to stop making it editable because you can. Right now, you could even write in it somehow. Essentially, if you do it on GNUstep, you have an extra space here. It will display like this that way. I don't know what was originally intended, but it's all given the matter that they don't fit because this is only exactly as wide. And it's recalculated because if you make it larger, it will.
Right.
So this is stressing the typesetter a little bit. But yeah.
It would be really nice if we could, at one point, put our documentation into help viewer format so that you could have it all in the help viewer.
Yeah, somebody did. Look, somebody did it long ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they did because we don't have an output. We actually would need a conversion script because since we use GSDoc actually, it's not that there is some code from GNUstep which is outputting. If you check all the documentation stuff, we are using a third-party program to output it. We essentially just have a wrapper around it. So we couldn't, since this is a proprietary format, it's very similar to XML with a little bit of HTML. Somebody a long time ago wrote of this version. Look, it takes a long while. There is so much debug that it will. And it's all broken, but I manually tried to fix it because it's recursive, and you could actually have something like this. Yeah, another thing which I need to fix, that thing I want to fix before releasing is that if you click here, it should scroll down.
It should go to the method. Yeah,
but that's
what I would
hard
expect.
because to do that, you need to put anchors inside the text while you pass it and go to it. And I don't know exactly how to do that.
Right. Know the
So that would be
location. Yeah, you have to know the location for each method that you're clicking on.
Yeah, because I don't want to search for it. I need to put a tag, an anchor tag or something like that. I fix it. It was done probably with a script because I see a lot of space conversion. This is very old. This is probably 20 years old. But it would
Right.
be. I would love that this thing.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to have an automated conversion script which takes basic HTML and converts to that.
Well, I mean, AutoGSDoc, as I understand it, outputs in an XML format and then converts to HTML. So wouldn't it be possible just to create a parser that uses the XML format?
Yeah, probably it would be easier from the XML parser and then say put up because it's. The code is. Yeah, the nice thing is that now we have. I need to write Pater because of course, it's a document-based application. So now you get all the title, all the stuff is automatically managed for you, right? So now you have the recent base, you can open it. I opened the big file. And he said everything for him is called window. That can't be because this is.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that email. That seems weird.
And it shouldn't because I tested on GNUstep, and this is handled by the. I mean, if it's not, this is handled by the document controller, right? And even on the Mac, you get the wall. And on GNUstep, you get the wall path is not as nice as this, but whatever. Yeah, well, it looks like little stuff, but it will come. Okay, does it on? I want to test something. What does happen if you try to print on the Mac? Okay, not very.
Oh wow!
It's printing the search field. And if I click here, maybe. Oh, it's 7 o'clock. I need to go to dinner. Oh,
there you go. But hey, this is one of the things I was talking about earlier. I was telling them how we have problems with our printing. See how that image is too big? That's part of the problem. That's part of the problem right there. I mean, it
Interesting.
does a decent job in most cases, but
Yes,
I mean,
but this is on the Mac.
this is on the Mac? Okay, all right. Yeah, we have the same problem. We have a similar problem on GNUstep.
Yeah, it's interesting that on the Mac it doesn't work, but I know probably why, because we have some. You probably need to do some scaling. I think it could be that the code relies on this having a specific size in pixels, which is wrong. Probably it should be. What does it happen if I enlarge it? Anyway, there's a lot of stuff to do. Probably it needs to be improved. But I hope, because that's come out from here, because those parts, that comes from that here. You go to the figure cell stuff. There's some white code where you have that comes from the legend. No. Well, I don't remember. Where does it come from? Figure cell is the one with the legends. So it's the one. Legend, maybe view cell. No. Section, parser, page, label. Anyway, note cell. Exactly. Image, text. Maybe something is here when it draws. Perhaps some of the code here is not. When you change the resolution, maybe it's not working correctly. It would be nice to.
Yeah. Twilight observes Coco doesn't have a good API for setting an image's DPI. If an image's DPI, if an NS image's size is set to the same as the size of the same as the bitmaps pixels, it assumes 72 DPI. To get a different DPI, you have to scale the images. The NS image's size accordingly. He says, I don't think this is supported on GNUstep. I think he's correct. I don't think it is.
It's done here. It's composite to top, and it's composited. However, it could be here, because the image size image to it we calculated, but then it's just composited without specifying any first and it could be a worse to look at it. Guys, it's 7 and it's dinner time here.
Okay.
However, that's up. I think it would be, if anybody wants, of course, to have ideas on the branch, I would like to finish what it is, because it would be a major improvement. And then, the worst thing, the newest thing is that we can cause a crash. Yeah, should be composing to the rack instead of the point. It could be, because if we have the rack, it maybe automatically scales. I will test that.
Okay. I mean, do you have
makes it easier perhaps, or I can get the image and force the DPI in the image representation and see if it fixes that too. Because that's what I do, for example, in other applications. I force the representation to have it known. We have a crasher. If you noticed, in GNUstep, and I want to look at it somewhere. I got the stack trace, and it's all inside GNUstep. I put it on the mailing list. So that's that. Okay.
Okay. Do you have a PR open on this?
Sorry, a PR?
Yeah, a PR.
On what? On the crasher?
No, on the typesetting stuff. I think you do.
Yes,
don't you?
there should be. Yes.
Yep.
I think there is.
Do. All right.
We have a bug and we have a branch.
Excellent. All right. Well, hey man, have a nice dinner.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Catch you.
Thanks for showing us. Very interesting.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I have code here. I could try composite to React and give it, because I have actually the React. I could make a new React. I have the image origin. Yes, but I need to do it after. Sorry. Right time.
All right. Mhm.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. My headphones survived.
Well, I mean, since we haven't had a lot of people come in, and I think we've all kind of given our updates. I think I'm going to go ahead and close down.
All right.
But thank you all for coming very much as always. Hopefully next month we have a sort of a busier meeting, and
No,
hopefully I personally have more to report. Anyway, go ahead.
I think this is really interesting about the help viewer stuff. I'm definitely going to grab that code and take a look.
Oh
So
yeah,
that was productive for me. I appreciate it.
yeah. I hope to have Music Kit up and running at some point, and what is it? And if you need me anything from me on the what is it stuff that I did using CEF, let me know.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
I'll be glad to at least explain some of it to you. It doesn't work quite yet, but it does build, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work very well. I mean, it doesn't work quite yet.
Okay.
So yeah, just let me know.
Sounds good.
All righty. And I'll be posting this probably in about an hour or two. I just need to I just need to eat something. I'm very hungry. Anyway,
Yep.
all right, guys. It was nice seeing you again, all as usual. And I will, like I said, I'll post this as soon as I can.
All right. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, guys.
Bye.
See ya.
Have a
Bye.
nice day.